The San Francisco 49ers are wizards when it comes to creating more cap space. And as we already knew, the 49ers came on a bunch of cap space with the post June 1st designation release of Eric Armstead in the range of $18 million. Now, you take that and then you combine that with the Christian McCaffrey contract extension, which actually saved the 49ers money against the cap for this season. The 49ers are looking pretty darn good when it comes to available cap space. And it's funny because this is always a conversation when it comes to moves that people like or don't like, extensions that should happen or shouldn't happen. And I think we are at a point. If you haven't figured this out, I figured this out a long time ago. I am not going to make any definitive statements about the cap until we have information like this that actually dictates and tells us what it is, because people see the value of these extensions. You see that Christian McCaffrey got $38 million in new money, and all of a sudden people, oh no, what an overpay, and all these different types of things. How are we going to manage the cap space? And all, I get it. Like that would be the like initial like gut punch thought process of like, wow, we just paid out a lot of money. That's going to impact the cap. But I learned this back when I think it was 2021, when the San Francisco 49ers had $15 million in cap space heading into free agency, and they had to pay Trent Williams, Kyle Juszczyk, amongst other players. And the 49ers not only made Trent Williams the highest paid left tackle in the NFL at the time, Kyle Juszczyk, the highest paid fullback in the NFL at the time. They also signed Alex Mack, and at the end of free agency, after adding, I think Samson Ebukam was also a part of that class, free agent class. After signing all these free agents, they had more cap space when it was all said and done. And I remember all the lead up until free agency was like, how are we going to pay Trent? What are we going to do here? And that was the moment where I was like, all right, I'm just going to sit back. Cap space, this cap configuration, it's not my expertise. I will share the information with you when it becomes readily available. But again, it's one of the reasons why you should always just wait and see until the information comes out before we start making any critical thoughts on, oh, this hurt the San Francisco 49ers in the long run, because that remains to be seen. Now, there have been situations where they have been hurt by contracts. I think like the D Ford situation. But again, that was partly due to just him being injured and not even being available. But let's get into the updated cap for the San Francisco 49ers as it currently stands. So, with the contract extension to Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers created approximately $7.46 million in cap savings for 2024. As a result of that, and with the additional cap space they got with the post June 1st release of Eric Armstead, the 49ers now are looking at around $32.7 million in available cap space for 2024. So not bad considering all the conversations about paying players and et cetera, et cetera. And I also think it's important to note that we saw the cap explode this past offseason. And I would expect with the wide receiver market exploding, the quarterback market continuing to explode, the NFL will have no other options but to continue to raise the cap ceiling, because they got to pay these players. And the good thing with that is dictated by revenue coming in, and not only the 49ers, but the NFL is making a lot of money. No surprise there. The NFL is king right now. But when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, they currently rank 7th in the NFL in total available cap space. So that is fantastic in regards to the 49ers future and cap health and all this types of things. And so that then transitions us into the conversation, and shout out to 49ers Web Zone for pulling this information from overthecap.com. But This brings us into the next conversation of what do the 49ers do with all this cap space. Now, what we did see from last year is they created a bunch of cap space with restructuring. I think George Kittle got restructured. I believe Fred Warner got restructured, where they converted uh, the salary into signing bonus, which created the cap space, and they rolled it over into this year. So there's a good chance they could take a good chunk of this available cap space and roll it in to future years. But obviously, the 49ers also are expected to extend Brandon Ayuk to a contract extension. That too would most likely create more cap space in 2024 with that extension, because I believe as it currently stands, Brandon Ayuk is on the books for $14.1 million. And obviously, an extension would push that figure out to future years because that's just how it works. So, what do the 49ers do? Obviously, we want to get Brandon Ayuk paid. We want to get that situation taken care of and put to bed so the 49ers and fans can just focus on next season and getting ready to go, you know, do the marathon all over again. But could the 49ers theoretically go after some players? Now, there's been so much conversation about Justin Simmons this offseason. He's still available. There are still some pretty big name free agents out there. Obviously, we just saw the 49ers sign Logan Thomas, who fits a really quality role as a tight end, too. But the 49ers now have the opportunity to go through this first kind of off-season phase of mini camp, OTAs, all this stuff, rookie mini camp, and evaluate the roster and say, all right, we need to get better at these positions. We can take this available cap space. We can drop it into 1-year deals to pay this veteran, that veteran. So they have a lot of flexibility to continue to add to the roster, but also, like, as well, they can still kind of push this figure out, and they can also grow it by extending Brandon Ayuk. So with Christian McCaffrey getting paid, it actually alleviates some cap space for the San Francisco 49ers. And as we continue to see, and kind of the play with the 49ers is whenever cap becomes an issue, they take the salary and they convert it to a signing bonus. The signing bonus erases the cap hit due to upfront money paid. And that's how the 49ers have been able to get through this loophole. So, kind of like I talked about at the very beginning of this particular video, is that's why I don't stress about the cap. I learned early on in this process, and I'm not a cap expert by any stretch of the imagination. I try my best to report you guys with the accurate information. That's why I let other people do it and that I trust. Like overthecap.com is a very reliable source for this cap information. And in regards to that moving forward, that's why I do believe it is a bit of a fool's errand to stress over cap and potential available cap space when you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I've been there before where I've been like, oh, how we again, I referenced the entire 2021 off season where I was stressing. And then I just realized after that, I'm like, listen, I don't know what levers they have to pull in these contracts, what loopholes they can work, how these, because we also know that these deals are structured in very intricate ways that it can look very like it will be a detriment to the team, but actually a lot of it's fluff. Or so that's the part where I learned, like, I'm just gonna let this all play out. I'm gonna let someone else tell me the final cap figures once it's all been calculated, once all the information has been input of what the contract breakout looks like, and then I will give you my opinion. And my opinion right now is the 49ers feel like they are in a really good spot with their cap. And again, they could have more cap space if they extend Brandon Ayuk in the near future. So let me know what you guys think about this cap situation. Also, what should the 49ers do with this available cap space? Keep adding? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.